Growing up in Texas, you don't see a lot of mountains. We have the Texas Hill Country, which is rolling foothills. Realistically though, nothing holds a candle to the Rocky Mountains. Nothing. When I was a kid, my dad made the spontaneous decision to pick up me, my stepmom, and move us to Colorado. In that moment, I never felt so small. I'm a young kid looking up at this massive mountain, and it's like seeing a titan, and I'm an ant. I distinctly remember standing there struggling to find the words of how I was feeling whenever my dad asked me what I thought. He was laughing. He thought it was the greatest thing ever, seeing his small kid who's normally very hyperactive, normally never shuts up, and he's cracking up, looking at me, staring at this huge mountain. In that moment, I remember this complete overwhelming feeling of inspiration, thinking, I want to go there. You know, this is the 90s. Nobody had DSLRs. Everything was 35mm film or disposable cameras. And, you know, we grew up on a very low socioeconomic situation, so we didn't have money for like a 35mm Nikon or a 35mm Canon. So my dad and my stepmom were obsessed with disposable cameras. And standing there, seeing this massive thing, I reached into my pocket, pulled out this disposable camera. I had 2 shots left, framed it, and snapped my very first landscape. A first huge step in a direction that would become a very integral part of my life. It's been years since I first took that photo. Eventually, my dad and I moved back to Texas. But in all of that time, I've never forgotten that feeling, that immense pull to the mountains. The inspiration, the feeling of being tiny and insignificant in the grand scheme of this giant. Since then, I've traveled all over the world. I've been in every climate that you can imagine. I've been in the very top Arctic cold of northern Alaska, and I've been in the tropical rainforests of Central America. I've seen vast grasslands of Ireland, and I've seen absolutely beautiful beaches. But in all of that travel, nothing held a candle to snow-capped mountains. I don't know what it is. It just does something to me. There's something about the solitude of a winter mountainscape. It does something to me. I can't put my finger on it. I feel completely at peace. You can be out in the mountains and this breeze will come over the top. You'll see the tops of the mountains start catching clouds because of the different levels in temperature and pressure in air. You feel a change in the air. The temperature drops, the wind picks up just a little bit, and then the snow starts to fall. The whole world goes quiet. In that moment, it's just you, and you feel completely alone, completely isolated, not in a negative way, but just completely at peace. There's no crowds willing to venture out in the cold, in the weather. So it's just you and the wild. I've never understood why I enjoy it so much. Most people hate the cold and they hate being alone. Especially people from the South. Like, they genuinely hate the cold because it's so hot here. But whenever I'm alone in the mountains and the snow is falling, I find a kind of peace. Tapping into what explorers and the Native Americans must have felt before this continent was completely packed full of people. I feel like I'm tapping into a time forgotten, and that's pretty cool. Everyday life is go, go, go. There's a disconnect between people and the natural world, the way that things are supposed to be. Being in these places brings me closer to what I think people should be, naturally in tune to what we evolved in, not the environment that we've created for ourselves. So with that being said, remember, it's okay to put your phone down. It's okay to get out of your comfort zone, to venture out into the wild, go places that you normally wouldn't feel comfortable going. So get out there, put the phone down. It doesn't work out there anyways, and go. The mountains are a beautiful place. and I will forever feel their pull.